Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Chroma Awards live stream. I'm your host for today, Davis. Right. So before we begin, we have a little announcement. Submissions are now open for Chroma Awards until November 3rd. And all the free trials and the free tools are available now for redemption on our website, chromaawards.com. And we'll be doing live streaming regularly throughout the competition on Monday at 7 p.m. Pacific time, and also on Wednesdays at noon, 12 p.m. Pacific time. And during these live streams, we will share updates, answer your questions, and host conversations with our competition sponsors, community partners, and awesome creators in the AI space. And today we are joined by two amazing guests. The first one will be artist Aashay Singh. Hello, namaskaram, Aashay. Welcome to be
Hi,
with us.
hi,
He's a
David.
great AI filmmaker and visual artist. And now we're streaming on Instagram, X, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And feel free to type in any questions, but mostly on YouTube. That's where we can answer your questions. Yep. Okay. And right on, our second guest is also here. Welcome, Russell.
Hello, how are you?
Hello, hello. Oh, can you turn on your camera so everybody can see you, Russell? Okay. And Russell Palmer is a co-founder of Saga, an AI-powered screenwriting app.
Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yes. Okay, so today we are actually going to start with Aashay, and let's before we jump in, I'm gonna play a film that's made by Aashay, and after that we'll get into a little interview with him. All right, I'm gonna play the film right now.
It's the shape that forgetting takes.
Each step a memory, each glance a ghost. Are you even real?
That's not the right question.
I am not trapped inside the city. It's shaped like what's left of me.
Are they strangers or reflections pretending not to know each other?
All right, welcome back, everyone. Let's give a round of applause for the amazing short film. It's very surreal. Yes. All right, Aashay. Before we jump in, do you want to do a little introduction and tell us about your film and everything?
Yeah, sure. Hi, Davis. First of all, I would like to say I'm very, very honored to be here on this show. So thank you so much for allowing me. And like somebody mentioned it in the chat section, I actually did one project, Dancing in the Dust of Us. That was also, I think, special mention 2 years ago, maybe. I don't remember when the competition last was, Project Odyssey. Uh, so yeah, so I have a special connection with you guys also. I see a lot of familiar faces. So for this movie, do you want me to say particularly about this movie, how the idea came, or just give my general introduction?
The general introduction will be great.
Okay. Yeah, so hi, my name is Aashay Singh. I am based out of India mostly. I spend some time of the year in Germany, but mostly in India. And I work as I used to be a filmmaker, an indie filmmaker for around over 10 years, I would say. But uh, yeah, and that's how I started when generative AI came into the picture. I was just like exploring with it. And one thing led to another, and I thought, yeah, I could use it to tell that kind of stories, or at least get my concepts across, and that's how I started posting it online. It was still very early on. I think it was just Gen 2 had launched. I think this is early to 2024 January, I would say. And But I got like really good response online, and not so much hate like you do see these days. So that was really nice. And I got very early on, I got like invited by Runway, for example, for the creative partnership, which was amazing because like I could not have afforded a Runway membership at that time. But my first few films I made using stable diffusion, hugging face pages, and like just scrapping it together. So just getting that support from Runway was amazing, and that's how I started. And then one thing led to another. Few big projects that I did was like one of the secret level projects with Black Eyed Peas. That was pretty nice. And a few commercials, and slowly things happened, and then finally I got signed up with GrAiL this year. So now I'm working with them on like so many exciting projects, and I couldn't be happier. So
Yeah.
yeah, thanks to AI and all this technology, I've been able to work with everybody across the world, and it doesn't feel like I live in a small part of India anymore.
Yeah. GrAiL is also our sponsor. And yes, like with AI right now, like we are having artists coming from all over the world, not just in
Yeah.
one place. And
Yeah.
everybody can just jump on it, which is amazing.
Yes.
Okay. And also, now I'm gonna ask you some questions. So you mentioned you are like a filmmaker before, like for 10 years. Like,
Yeah.
what initially drew you into like integrate AI into the creative process?
What drew me basically, since I became a filmmaker, what I was fighting was lack of resources to tell the kind of stories that I wanted to tell. And the images that I have in my head, there was always a challenge on how to get it on screen. So for me, the only thing was that whatever helps me in getting that, I was ready to embrace. So when I started, I knew that I'm a big horror and sci-fi kind of person. So I would like to make those kind of movies. So for that, what do I need? I need to learn visual effects. Okay, so I will learn visual effects. So then I started learning those things like matte painting and camera mapping, like basic things. And then I realized, okay, but what if I want to do a zombie film? Like how would I do crowd simulation? So that led me to that query. And then but the only thing was like I was never able to say or think that okay, this is something I don't want to do. Like for me it was always in service of telling the stories I want to tell. So if I had to learn Houdini, for example, i would just I would just learn it. I wouldn't think like, okay, this is really hard. This is not my style. I'm a filmmaker. I'm not a technical person. Whatever it takes. So I remember, like when I started learning Cinema 4D for 3D stuff. But then I realized when it came to rendering that it used to take so long that I won't be able to do anything basically on my own. So then I thought, okay, what's the next thing? Oh, real time rendering. Okay, so Unreal Engine. Okay, so like that. So I kept on learning everything just in service of being able to tell the stories. But I realized that if I want to do everything on my own, it's going to take certain amount of time, which I was able also okay with. So I had given myself like 3 to 5 years is what I will take to do like a film with a lot of special effects and all these things on my own. But then that is when AI just came into the picture, and I had the knowledge of everything, so that's why I was able to talk to the AI in a more specific way in terms of my prompting. Like I could understand what is surface scattering, what is anti-aliasing, like technical things also. So that's how I started, and uh, yeah, so that's how I came to AI, and I would move on to other things also in future. I'm very sure if
So
it helps me.
it's just like a new technology, a new tool for you to learn, right? And even
Yes,
like new tools coming, you're just gonna adapt.
I'm just, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And like you said, I believe all the 3Ds or the backgrounds from Cinema 4D and also
Yes,
Unreal Engine definitely help you a lot, right? Because now you have all
absolutely.
those terminology that you can use to talk to AI.
It's
Right.
not only that, when you create something in 3D from scratch, you learn to pick on so many things that your eyes get trained on looking at the images and know what is right, what is wrong, what is not working, which is basically what you do with AI, 10x the speed. So you just get like, really, you understand micro details, because in 3D nothing exists. You have to put every single thing there. So from that, I think that really helps me as an art director, just to have that eye that this is right, this is what I need to change, and these kind of things.
Mm, nice. And also like when creating all this, like when AI comes in right now, what are the new like narrative possibilities that you
Right.
discover that you can use to tell the story you want?
So
Like,
yeah, so basically, what I feel is that in terms of narrative possibilities, of course, you can talk about subjects, or you can talk about certain subjects on a scale that was never possible. So, for example, if you wanted to tell a very personal father-daughter story, but set in a sci-fi world, in indie space, you can't really do that. So you will have to set this story in a house or something, or in a car, and like these kind of places. But now you can actually, if you want to do it, so there will be like some kind of merging of indie sensibility with these kind of like grand things that you can do in terms of like scale. So I feel that that is important. The other thing is, because the cost is definitely low, so risk is definitely low, and it takes you also less time to produce something to see if it works or not. So I feel, like in last generation we had one or two, one David Lynch, one Jodorowsky, because not many people were able to find audience for that kind of cinema. But I think I'm very hopeful that that kind of space, I think this is where I want to see a lot more filmmakers experimenting, not just in this replication of blockbuster style grand epic imagery all the time with AI that has almost become like a stereotype in 1.5 year already, like when you think of AI. But I
yeah,
think more exploration of abstract concepts. Like, I'm a big David Lynch fan, so I will keep quoting him. But he spoke about how film has the ability to hold abstraction that no other medium can. And I think this is where I think I would like to also explore, but in terms of like set it in a genre that people are familiar with, but also challenge them with these kind of storytelling, so that there is something new that can emerge from it.
yeah. And I like what you said. It's not about all the like blockbuster, like all the explosions, all the
Yeah.
like great armies. It's
Yeah.
still we have to get to back that center. It's all about the story, how we can
Yes.
tell that story.
How? Yeah. The how is more important than the what.
Mhm. And now the next question: as a creative partner with the platforms like Freepik, Luma AI, and Hilo, and what are some of the most exciting like advancements or functions that you see in these AI tools and platform for you to use?
So in the recent weeks, I would say, or like, what do you mean? Because every day in AI space, there's something new happening.
Then just tell us like the latest thing that you
Latest,
find.
okay. So the latest thing I would say, like everybody is very happy with Nano Banana. I would say. because you are able to get like a lot more consistency. This is something that people have been struggling with, getting different camera angles,
Mm,
and just being able to get it by talking to an LLM in like natural language is just next step, I think, of the whole thing.
true, true.
So this I find pretty exciting. And the other thing was, recently I became a creative partner with CapCut also. So I've been experimenting a lot with their video model Seed Dance,
Mm.
and they have this something called this multi-shot workflow. So you can input one image and you can get like different shots from the same image inside one prompt. So it is like really really good for like I create a lot of b rolls from it. Basically, like if you want to get a lot of coverage for an action scene, it is so amazing, because you can have I created like 45 shots from one image, just by it being like prompting for different things, like, and like the action starts and then you say it cuts to, or the camera goes up, and it can do with a lot of consistency. So this is another thing that I really like. This
And
another
the model is C Dance, right?
dance
So
pro.
C
Yes, yes.
Dance is a model from Dreamina, which is also our sponsor, and CapCut as well. So what you just
Okay.
described, basically in
Yeah.
CapCut, you can
Yeah.
just doing prompts and generating shots, as you said, right?
Yeah, so you can
Wow.
obviously access these from other platforms also, like Freepik has them, Hicksfield has them, a lot of places. But what I find really incredible with CapCut is that inside the editing suite itself, you can create your in basically in the bin where you have footage.
Yeah.
You can just have nothing. You start with nothing, and you can start creating images right there. So your bin is getting full. Then you can animate them, so you get footage inside, and then you can place them on the timeline and start editing. So it's just like really really good workflow to have.
Wow, that's something really new. This is
Yeah.
definitely the first time I'm hearing about it. I'm gonna definitely check it out.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing. Okay. And one more question, like for all the AI artists, filmmakers, or people in the chat who just started, wanted to get on this, what advice would you have for them? Like when it comes to like maybe the first tool or what to use, what's the very first thing they should do? Do you have any advice for them?
When it comes to AI tools, just start playing. Yeah, it doesn't matter what which tool you choose. I know that we are inundated by so many options, and if you go on YouTube, every YouTuber will claim that this is the new mid journey killer, or this is the new flux killer, and like, but they do it for obviously views and like these kind of things. You need to understand that it doesn't matter. You can start like my first film that uh, got selected for Amsterdam Film Festival. I made it on a stable diffusion hugging phase where the output was just like 800 pixels square. So I had to take each image into Photoshop and make it into a 16 by 9 by generative fill. And then I had to go on different platforms and log in with different IP to animate them. So, but the thing is, like, if you come from indie sensibilities, you will be able to, you will still think this is easy compared to actually going out there and, doing something. So, uh, I would say just start playing around. When I started playing around, I was prompting poetry into the thing just to see what kind of images come in. I was prompting for numbers. Like I would do random things just to understand. Just and I understood very early on that this is just like a creative jumping off point. An image, a sound, a video, whatever it is. It just is a jumping off point, and you can just use it to extrapolate and create something inside it. So I would say just start anywhere. Whatever you can afford, start there. But once you hit a certain kind of wall with that limitation of that particular tool, then you do your research and figure out like what would be the next step to take, and then
Hmm.
progress from there.
Yeah, I think that's great answer. Start with just one and just play
Yeah.
with it. Just play with
Yeah.
it. Yes. All right. That's checking the chat. Do we have any questions from the chat for Shay? See, I see a lot of people talking about nano bananas. All right. Okay. And so for now, like I know you're now working with GrAiL and some projects that's probably under NDA. Besides those, you cannot mention. Do you have
Yeah.
any other projects that's exciting for you that you can share with us? Like, what's the next part of your journey?
So basically, my journey has kind of merged with GrAiL's journey at this point. GrAiL is just like a next gen AI studio that has, but also a talent management company. So they both Davide and Jeff, who come from like a long history in the business industry. So I basically, because I live in India, it was really important for me to have mentors, so for me, Jeff and Davide are more like mentors who kind of guide me. I have certain ideas, but instead of working on them on my own, it's best to just pass it by somebody who has so much of experience, and they can help you out with certain things, that maybe you can do this like this. And this is what I always miss, because I live so far away from everybody. You guys are all on the West Coast, and I don't go to any meetups, I don't meet anybody basically. For me it was very important, so I just have that kind of really nice space, support, you can say, with GrAiL. So right now, whatever I am working on, unfortunately, is through GrAiL, because that just makes sense to me, like a lot more sense. So, but I would say what I'm excited about is the next stage of evolution of me as a filmmaker. You know, whatever you will say, whether it's through GrAiL, or if you see privately through me, is what is exciting to me is pushing the envelope. I love genre filmmaking. I grew up watching B movies. I grew up watching horror cinema, sci-fi. These are my bread and butter. But as I grew up, I also evolved into a little bit more of a spiritual person with David Lynch and Jodorowsky. They also made an impression on me. So I am somebody, and I'm also very interested in Eastern philosophy and spirituality, and I feel that has not been represented in the right way in the mainstream cinema ever. So what I would like to do is merge all these things. I'm also a farmer. I live on a farmhouse. I So there are many other aspects of my life, and like Werner Herzog said, if you live a rich life, you will have rich things to say. It will just come through. So that is my goal, that I just focus on living a rich life, and with different kinds of interest, and exploring each interest as deep as I can go, because I know everything feeds to the storyteller, everything I can draw upon, and in ways I won't understand even. So this is what I am excited about, is evolution of me, because for me, technology and all these things, okay, they will come and they will evolve, and that is not really my forte. If I evolve myself, I will be able to use whatever comes to the best of my ability, and that is where I'm most excited about.
I think that's really, really inspiring. Like you just said, you are living in a farm that's like all natural, but at the same time, you are working in the most advanced technology right now.
Yes.
That's such a contrast. That's amazing. That's amazing when you say. Okay, and now we do have an interesting question. I'm going to show it right here. What's the community like for AI filmmaking when it's in India? I think we are all curious.
Yes, so the community is quite small right now, I would say, comparatively. And most of them are based out of big cities like Mumbai, Delhi. There is a fellow filmmaker in the chat right now, Stanzin Raghu, who is from my city. So I do know him. But yeah, obviously, it's slowly growing. What I fear with the Indian market or with the Indian artist is that they are trying to position themselves more as a VFX artist replacement, not a filmmaker. So what is going to happen is they are just going to drive the market to the ground, because they're just going to do everything cheaper. I mean, that's the idea. We can do it in 1 hour for $100. So obviously, where is this gonna go? Next person is gonna do it for $50, and the next one is gonna do it for $25. So, and this is how we should really study what happened to the VFX studios and how they all got shut down. And this is something we should not really repeat with AI, because it's such a big tool and such a. So what I would say about the Indian thing is, yeah, it's just like I think there is a lack of education on that front,
Mm,
and everybody, it's a social media thing. Everybody wants to be on the next hype cycle. They are just looking for the next gig. But I feel like sometimes we should take our time back and really figure out, this is here to stay. It's not like AI is not the flavor of the month or anything. So
So
yeah.
following up with that, what would you say to the filmmakers that who wants to push the boundaries instead of just doing the same thing?
Yeah.
What would you say to them?
I would say more power to them. Like, first define how would you like to push the boundaries, because that's also important. Just not to push the boundary for the sake of pushing the boundary, because there I really take inspiration from Spielberg in that sense, that Spielberg doesn't really have a style. He can do Schindler's List and Jurassic Park in 1 year because he can hide himself in the service of the story. So I feel like, you should always think like, what is the best way to serve this story, what is the best way to say this story, and not really think about not having, like, your style over everything. Because I mean, it's also okay if you want to do this, but I'm just saying personally, I would not like to have a stamp over everything that I make. That it looks, it is, this is what I do. I don't want to be known for one particular thing or like something like this. So I think there are so many definitions of pushing the boundary. How you can push the boundary, whether you want to push it for yourself or for storytelling purpose or for cinematography, or like there are so many ways, and define it and try, and more power to you. Go for it. And I would say one place where we could really push the boundaries is in just in terms of storytelling, because we have, since the streaming age, I feel like the quality of content has gone down so drastically, because cinema has been reduced to content. And you forget, like, in the last 10-15 years, how many movies do you remember? Like, even good ones, like, you think about it, and you can remember so many movies from your childhood that they have such a power about them. So I feel people have really stopped living a deeper life, because everything is so instant. This is the age of social media and instant gratification. So the stories that are coming out are also shallow in that sense, or very opinionated from the beginning, which was never the case before. Films used to talk to everybody across the spectrum and make you question. But these days, films either appeal to one section of the society or the other. So it's very, this is what I find very shallow. So this is where I would like people to really push the boundaries.
Yeah, thank you for sharing your wisdom with us. I believe a lot of us are feeling the similar feelings and trying to figure out ways to like maybe slow down or how can we get the focus back on that story
Yeah.
instead of just crazy visuals.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and thank you for joining us for today, Ashay. Like it's
Welcome.
really great to have you and having you share all the wisdom with us. Namaskaram, Ashay. Namaskaram.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Yes, and feel free to stay with us. And now we are going to introduce our second guest, Russell, to talk about his product. All right, Russell, you are muted, Russell. Russell, give me one sec.
There we go.
Okay, we can hear you now. All right.
Yeah, great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yes. All right, Russell, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and what exciting product that you are building?
Yeah, so I'm Russell Palmer from Toronto, Canada originally. I grew up making home movies with my brother. We got into tech. We'd always, use the latest camcorders or VHS tapes and make TV shows to screen every Friday for our parents. So a lot of fun with filmmaking. I went into AI and product, and my brother actually went back to film school. And when we saw the first demo of GPT 2 or 3, almost 4 years ago now, it was life changing. And so I thought, hey, maybe I can build something, a prototype for my brother that helps him. Maybe it learns his writing style and helps him write more and faster, and reviews it, makes corrections, because he always wanted to break into Hollywood and become like our Canadian hero, James Cameron. So, but it's hard. It's hard to break in. You can move to LA, and my brother worked, he started in the mailroom. He was a PA all the way up. Now he's a first AD. And he says it's still hard to find time to write and pitch your movie to studios. So the idea behind Saga is help people, with the power of AI, write their best stories, finish more projects, and hopefully have more people work in the industry.
Wow. And so you guys just combine your background and
Yeah,
building this for everybody. Okay.
exactly.
And do you want to share like the
Definitely.
product
Yeah.
with us?
Let me share my screen here.
Yes.
And
Okay, I'm gonna put us up. Give me 1 sec. Let me bring that up.
okay.
Okay, now we are on.
Great. So, we couldn't afford saga.com or saga.ai. We're an early startup, but go to write on Saga, write as in writing, .com, and you can sign up with just your email, and you don't need a credit card or anything just to get in we have sort of a freemium version of our product. And so this is what it looks like, and you'll have all your projects here. And so you can go into one. Now, you can go to ChatGPT and say, give me an idea for a movie. Okay. As we say in Silicon Valley and Hollywood, ideas are a dime a dozen. They're cheap, right? It's implementation. So you have to actually, it's not just the best idea you can get. Take some ideas that relate to you and your lived experience and what makes you a human and a person, or just ideas you've had for crazy sci-fi, type them in. And so our app will take you through the plot, characters, acts, and beats pages. But what it does differently is, let's say you're new to screenwriting and you don't know, okay, all movies need to have a theme. Okay, we'll give some examples here from good movies. We'll even say, what is the central message of your story? Um, so what we do is we click generate, and we talk to different models, OpenAI, GPT, and Claude, and Google Gemini, and we fine tune them and prompt engineered them to try to be better than what you'll find in the chatbots. But we'll give you 5 ideas. You don't need to learn what model version of Nano Banana Gemini Image 1.5, Imagine 4. They all have weird code names, hard to remember. People in Hollywood, they just want to write. So we'll look at your entire movie and say, for this movie, what is the best theme? And obviously, everything is editable. Um, so here's something interesting we don't do. My brother's computer engineer, but he's gone to film school, and so they teach you. There's about 12 story types, archetypes since the ancient Greeks, and everything you see. Star Wars is kind of like Back to the Future, kind of like Wizard of Oz. The hero gathers the team on a journey. Lord of the Rings, and so, but you can actually start combining common ones in Saga, and that's why we're hoping it will invent new story types, do things that are very original in filmmaking. People critique AI; they say it just copies what's out there. We hope we can work at this enough in the GPT 4.0. Now there's GPT 5. We hope it'll just get better and better and help people make amazing stories. Um, so the B story is interesting. A lot of people, they skip it. They don't think they need it, but every good movie you've seen has one. Can see these examples. So what we do is, because we've gone to film school, a B story, so it should reinforce the theme with secondary characters. So you'll see Raven, Sarah, Misha, Slick, Dr. Morales. And so you can see it kind of reinforces the theme. And if we go to the characters, these are all the secondary characters: the mentor, the love interest, the ally. So we do things that ChatGPT might forget to or hallucinate, but we make sure it works. And again, it's just easier to track all your characters in an app like this as opposed to ChatGPT or
Mm.
Claude, a chat bot. But we do special things. There's 5 character. Maybe you don't even know there's 5 character arcs. But we teach you what they are. We give examples of each. Spiral corruption. This is Darth Vader. This is Michael Corleone. So you're gonna want to at least pick these things, even if you don't
Mhm.
know what
So
they
that's for
are.
like characters. They will probably have different arc, right? Some they just
Exactly.
becoming a villain. Some they are the heroes. They keep growing. So different
Exactly.
arc, right? And you can set for the character.
Exactly. Yeah, like
Amazing.
maybe your villain is evil, he starts evil, he stays evil. But Gandalf was the mentor, but he had an arc. So all the great stories have this stuff. You don't need it. You can leave things like this blank, but there should be a false belief that's an obstacle to your character
Wow.
if it's the protagonist, and it's a positive character arc. And so we'll give you ideas, and you can edit them as much as you want. It's your idea, but yeah, like these are from real movies. This is why they're great. You can see examples. We're partnering with USC and different film schools, and they like this because it actually teaches it. You learn by doing as opposed to just read, watch a movie and write an essay on it, and now you're learning how to make movies, but it's hard to do that, even if
Yeah.
it's Citizen Kane or these great movies.
Hmm.
um, I'll skip ahead. So we've got the acts. There's the 3 acts, from the prologue to the epilogue. We give you ideas, or if you're blank, you can always hit generate. If you don't like the beats we have here and you want to do another set, you can add them. So save the cat beats, or if you want, you can create a TV series instead of a movie. And the beat sheet's a little different. It's 25 beats uh, per episode. And then yeah, you get into the script. Now you can upload your script or download from Final Draft or anything. But this is again very different than using a chat bot. Even with their Canvas, we've built in this great script editor. And of course, you can say, write me a new scene or write the next line. But you can even say, um, go to the AI chat and say, script coverage. Give me script coverage, and it'll give you everything you could want from a script coverage service. These cost a lot of money, but you just click the button, and it's free in Saga. Um, you can chat about any lines you've written. You can rewrite a scene and say, make this dialogue snappier, more like Sorkin, um, at the beginning of the social network.
Oh wow.
And
So it understand that prompt.
yeah. I mean, we might block out living artist names in movies just so we don't get. But this is what they do in Hollywood. They say, write it like Sorkin.
I see.
Titanic meets Jaws. This is how Hollywood talks.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just
Exactly.
it's instead of
Exactly.
humans, you're working with AI, and you can see, boom, it does the script coverage report, or it rewrites the scene. Um, and you can do it for dialogue to make this joke funnier. Um, and then yeah, so what we found and my brothers found is he'll work on a movie set all year, 2 years, and then on the last day talk to the producer, executive producer, and say like, I worked hard all year. Here's this screenplay I wrote. Can you read it? Can you give me feedback? Can you pass it around? And whether you're my brother, I think most people in LA will tell you, like, it's very hard to get someone to read 100 pages, especially a busy studio executive. But if you can do like Ryan Reynolds did for Deadpool, he had to convince Marvel and Disney to do an R-rated, superhero. So he made just a 2-minute video and put it on YouTube, right? So you can select your slug line, your scene heading here, say create image, we'll write a nice shot description for you. Um, you can select from uh, common shot types and camera levels.
Oh
Sometimes they can.
wow.
Yeah, yeah. And it's funny, we started doing this when everybody was in the chatbots and all. Everyone, oh, voice is the last interface. There's no more apps. SaaS is dead. Apps are dead. But for things that are very visual in media, you want to see it and preview it and maybe download some options. And so we pulled the best images from OpenAI GPT-4o. If you remember the big studio Ghibli
Yeah, that's
thing,
Ghibli. Help.
that was this. So we have one from that, one from Flux, which is the image generator that Elon Musk backed, and I think it's in Grok. And we have a partnership with Google, so we have Imagine 4, and we saw Nano Banana. We'll add it soon. It's pretty cool. And yes, you can just sort of select one, and then you can be storyboarding while you're writing um, here on the side, or
Wow.
go to our storyboard page. And some of these videos are old because we've been doing this for like 3 years. But when you get down to the bottom, that's more um, the later models, and you can camera motion, everything you want. And this is going to take 2 minutes, so just to show you some um,
Yeah.
fun demos I've been doing. But Google VO3 is incredible, and it does the sound. If you want waves or you want someone talking, it will do that. And so, our goal is eventually have a button at the end that just says compile all together, make movie, and you can upload an MP4 to YouTube. Make a trailer, put it on TikTok, and yeah, we think it's going to really help people break in
And
to filmmaking.
just straight from the script, right? Like what you just showed
Yeah.
us, the interview, just straight from script, and then you
It
can just
has to, yeah. I
generate
mean, I
all
know
this.
there's other sponsors that do like, type one sentence, a movie about a vampire. We'll do all the storyboards. We'll write a 100-page script. But we don't like that. That's not what we built for, because we want to make our own movies. So we build for people like us that you got to do it step by step. The story is the most important part. If it takes too long, click generate and we'll give you ideas. But you need to plan your acts before start writing script, or you're just gonna have to go back and redo it. Or if you do 100 storyboards at a time, and then you kind of change how a character looks, you got to go back and redo these and then
Yeah.
redo. So you're just wasting money and credits on these other apps. But and they don't have the story writing element, but that's fine. We partner with Google. We're giving away over $600 in VO3 videos here, and
Oh wow.
uh, 1,000 as many images as you want, unlimited text. That stuff's cheap, and everybody gets it free. We're only $20 a month, but everybody in the competition gets the free code. And then
Yes.
just some other things we're giving away. So we've been doing this since 2021. I've been to many AI film festivals. They're cool. They're getting better. But we really hope to see the narrative category, especially in Chroma Awards, like really um, blow people away, such that they forget they're watching an AI movie, and it's just like they're watching a movie at home,
Mhm.
Netflix. They're not thinking this is good for AI. They're just enjoying the movie. So
Mm.
with that comes, people need to learn. Maybe you can't go to film school, but we made this course, put it on Udemy, whatever. And we got the code, Chroma 90 off. So we give 90% off. It's usually $130, but you can see here we teach you everything you could want to know about writing and characters and story arcs. And then Curious Refuge charges like $700 per course over and over. That big. They have 8 different courses that teach this, but I posted this. We're giving this away. If you want to learn a nonlinear editing software like NLE, like Adobe Premiere Pro. Here, this is my brother and co-founder showing it off. There's really only 3 steps you need to know. Generate your video, whether you use us or use it's a commercial. Okay, whether you do us or you do Runway, Gen 4, and Act 2. These are all great. We use them all. But all you need to do is get the video and then drag it in, probably trim it. If it's VO3, it'll have audio. You can turn it off. Go to ElevenLabs, generate music, generate voice, drag it in here.
And also sound effects.
And sound effects, yeah. And that's it. And then the one thing, you don't want a hard cut between scenes. So you do if you can see it, like dip to black, do a dissolve, like a transition. And then the final thing is just because it's AI and the color can be different between shots, even if you like them. I forget where it is. You can find this later, but there's a button you can press on Adobe that says just match all the color together. So you want to do color correction. Otherwise, when people watch it, it'll feel like 3-4 different movies. And yeah, we've done a bunch. You can see our work. Go to synapseproductions.com. I'm in San Francisco, but our studio here, AI Studio, is based in Toronto. Yeah, you can see, we make, this is a singer, Emerald, we know in Toronto. So she wanted a music video. So she just sent us a picture. And, we tried Kling AI's lip sync and Runway, Act 1, and Google View, a couple others to do character reference images. And then this one's fun. If you do a kids video, you can get a lot, 60,000 views pretty quick on YouTube's app. But yeah, the good thing about kids videos and with animals is it doesn't need to be English. You don't need as much translation. But works great with music, and then 8 billion people around the world can be watching. But AI is great for translation. Put it into Google, put it into ElevenLabs, and yeah. So I think that's just about everything.
Yeah, thank you for sharing with us this amazing product. I think one like AI tool that's focused on screenwriting, that's really cool. That's really, really cool. For someone like me from like a film production background, learning something about screenwriting, I believe there are some really great features. Yeah.
You can, and if you're stuck, writer's block, you can give it a prompt, or you just say, I have no idea, generate, and it'll do something for you.
Wow.
Or you can go up to the AI chat and just be like, I'm stuck. What's next in the script? So we have an AI chat like ChatGPT and Claude, but we also have all the inline stuff here, so you can accept it, and then you've got all the different styles at the top.
Yeah. All right, Russell. So thank you so much for sharing with us. Following up, I have a few questions for you.
Great.
So the first one, what are some of the biggest challenges and opportunities that you see in the intersection of the AI and the creative writing? Well, particularly in the context of screenwriting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's the hardest part, and that's why even though we've had text LLMs for a long time, everybody's still waiting on someone else to write, get an AI to write in a best original screenplay award-winning. I think it's the next part. It's critical. Hollywood gets it. They seem overwhelmed with lawsuits in terms of the Midjourney did this and Meta did that, and yeah, I think it'll just happen. Like one of these AI film festivals, someone will just write a great simple script, and like I think the movie Flow won an Oscar recently for best animation, and they used AI, and it wasn't overwhelming AI, like, oh yeah, make it trippy and now change it to anime, now change it to, that's Silicon Valley talking. Once the artists are comfortable and use it, people will watch things. And my hope is, I wrote a blog. Go to our website, click on blog, and you can read this, called the Content Turing Test. But the idea is, eventually people will just see stuff they don't know if AI was involved, just like they don't really care if CGI was involved.
Mm.
I mean, if there's a dragon or a zombie, it's not real, but with good story, you will get lost in that, and the visuals don't matter. Um, when I was a kid, Simpsons came out and animation was terrible. And the first episode of South Park, I remember it was the worst animation ever, but the characters and the writing were so good, that it didn't matter. So, and then, Paramount comes to them, here's $1 billion. So I think it's like, focus on the story, worry about the visuals next. And then someday, people will, in our community, will start to, be making really big things.
Yeah, I believe so too. Like for this whole stream, we're constantly talking about it's about the stories,
Mhm,
not just all the visuals. It's the stories.
mhm,
That's the core.
mhm,
Yeah. And for those who are now like new to using AI in their writing process,
mhm.
what advice would you offer them to maximize the benefits of using the tools like Saga, like while kind of like maintaining their
Yeah.
own creative voice? What's your
That's,
advice for
well,
them?
that's exactly it. It is in Hollywood. They say, write what you know. So if you grew up in Japan on a farm, or you grew up in Idaho, doing this or the, whatever. I mean, then there's sci-fi, which is obviously no one lives that. But like, if you're gonna start, write something you know. I think Scorsese said everybody has a story to tell, and so there's at least one thing in your life that has been interesting. Maybe your crazy uncle bought this or that, and change your family's life, and write what you know.
Hmm.
And AI is better when you start from a good seed, in that if you go to ChatGPT and say, give me 10 movie ideas, it will thinking for a minute and they'll give you some, but you're going to have a hard time writing. So because you don't know about that. So don't use it as the idea generator, is the short version. Use it to flesh out and explore your idea.
Hmm.
And just when you're getting tired and you want to quit and give up, that's when, use it to do, okay, I'll do a first draft for you.
Hmm.
Come back tomorrow when you're refreshed and read it and edit it. And that symbiosis of human AI. AI does the vomit draft, which, if you're rich in Hollywood, you could pay someone to write for you, right? Like, people in Hollywood, they do this stuff. It wasn't AI, it was a ghostwriter, it was a script editor, it was someone. And so, yeah, use the AI for that. And the important thing is, my brother will say, get more shots on net. You might think your first idea is great, or your second. Go for 5 ideas, and you'd be surprised which one like gets picked up with people. But also, we say in startup world, you get like 100 no's before you get one VC saying yes. So develop that thick skin. But if you believe your story is good, keep at it.
Nice, nice. Maybe start with something you know.
Start
That's
with something you know.
That's something you
Yep. Where
know,
where
and
did you
then
grow
play
up?
with it.
What's your
Yes,
skill? What's your passion? Have you been a ballerina even for 5 years? Go write the, Black Swan,
got it.
or yeah, whatever. If you grew
Hmm.
up in West Texas, write Hell or High Water. There's no superheroes and special effects in these movies so much as just the characters.
Cool.
You want to see them.
Yes. All right. And as for the product for Saga
Mhm.
on the roadmap, what's the next exciting features? What are you guys working on?
Yeah, doing a lot of stuff in voice. So with ElevenLabs, I've been playing around with their music generator, and obviously they have APIs. ElevenLabs has APIs. We can integrate them. So we're making a new sort of one-click movie trailer
Wow.
based on your script and storyboards and visuals, previs, and it would make the song in ElevenLabs, which I've tried it. I even posted some on the Discord yesterday. It was so fun, and voices, obviously, and sound effects. And so, one thing we get asked for is, and this is what you learn by doing, having a co-founder in the industry and doing user research. Some people, a lot of apps look like ours, but they're not living it. What we hear when we talk to people in the industry is they say, "I actually want to be an actor. I want something to help me practice my lines with. So not just read this PDF, but wait for me to say something and say, no, I want to do it again." And so that's a feature we're building that's really interesting for actors. And
Mm.
then obviously you guys 11 has this already, where if you have the script, just upload the PDF. A lot of executives we talk to say they love listening to scripts on a car drive or an airplane ride. So we want to add that feature.
Mm.
And then, yeah, just better, longer video. We partnered with Google. I was on the Googleplex the other day, and they get it. 8-second clips today, 10, 20 seconds tomorrow. You can't just say in a British accent every time in VO3 because there's no voice consistency. So I think partnering with ElevenLabs for some features will be great, and then
Mhm.
just more video, more realistic, less uncanny valley. There's a reason why people make so many AI trailers, because you don't need dialogue.
Yeah.
So ElevenLabs is the key there, and yeah, we're excited to just keep integrating as we go.
Perfect. Thank you for sharing with us. And thank you for joining us for today. Thank you, Saga. And thank you, Russell, for sponsoring our Chroma Awards competition.
Yep.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
let's
just
see.
message me, and I'm on the Discord. Message me, Russell S.A. Palmer. And
Yeah.
if you have any questions, you want any help,
And,
any
and,
of the
in,
links.
and in the chat, we already put the 2 links that you can find Saga
Perfect.
and the Udemy courses as well.
Yes, perfect.
All right, before we end this stream, we just want to remind you right now, every Monday, 7 p.m. PT, Wednesday, 12 p.m. PT, we'll keep on doing these live streams with our amazing sponsors and creators in this AI space. And thank you so much for joining us for today, everyone. It's great to see you. All right. Thank you, Russell.
Okay,
I'm
thank you.
going to end the stream here.
Okay, bye.
It begins with a spark, a burst of light in the dark, a question before the answer. From that spark came fire. Story, carved in stone and passed through time. Symbols became words. Words sparked revolutions. The world changed. Culture was born. We gathered, we performed, and then voices carried across continents. Images flickered. Dreams were projected into reality. Then, again, everything changed. The internet arrived. Creation exploded. Games, films, the rules bent. And now, we stand at the edge of a new era of technology.
A moment to make our mark!
No gatekeepers, no borders, no excuses.
Just raw passion.
Talent and drive.
This is your shot!
It's your time.
This is the Chroma Awards.